No need for people driving compact cars. Is your father a high school grad working as a regular employee? No need for greeting, just go back where you came from. A dry laugh echoes through the reception room. There is no one to follow that mocking laughter. Just one man, under a misapprehension, laughing down at me. To correct this misunderstanding, I bow deeply and inform him. Yes, I am the CEO of a company with an annual revenue of $500 million. I apologize for being such an unworthy person invited to a place like this. What? The moment he hears this, the laughter in the living room stops. Then, I witness the man's face turning pale. My name is John Smith. My wife, Anne, passed away earlier, and at 48, I have a daughter named Sarah. Anne was sickly from birth, so whilst she was pregnant, she had agonized over the future. Wondering whether it was right to keep this baby, not knowing if she can be around to see her grow up. It seemed irresponsible to start a family not knowing if she could witness her daughter's growth. Certainly, my wife's condition wasn't good, but it was not as if she had been given a terminal diagnosis. I reassured my wife, who was just being pessimistic. Even if you think you might not be around for long, no one knows about the future. If it is meant to be, it is meant to be. No matter what happens, I will do anything for our child, so please go ahead, our daughter will be the proof of your life. Although she was skeptical about having the baby when she got pregnant, my wife changed her mind after hearing my words. Our daughter Sarah was born healthy and grew up well, which was a relief as she wasn't sickly like her mother. My wife was grateful and loved our daughter with all her heart. It's all thanks to what you said back then. I never imagined I could have such wonderful times. I feel great and want to live a long life for our daughter. She tried hard to live on. Despite her conditions, she even traveled with our daughter to spend time with her. Doctors were surprised by her vitality. But, the miracle didn't last long. When Sarah got into high school, my wife passed away due to her illness. Now, my only family left is Sarah. And the compact car filled with family memories. Memories of our trips together still linger in the car, and I could not bring myself to let go of the car. As I polish the car, I remember the past. My wife's thoughts were always with Sarah until the end. I resolved to carry on that sentiment, watching over Sarah as she grew. Soon after, Sarah blossomed into a beautiful woman, and after graduating from college, she began living alone in the city for her work. Years after Sarah moved out, I suddenly received a call from her on my cell phone. Concerned something had happened, I answered the phone, only to learn the news pertained to a significant chapter in Sarah's life. Dad, listen, I'm getting married. Though I was happy hearing this, I felt a pang of loneliness. Memories of her as a little girl raced through my mind like a carousel. You get vulnerable as you age, and despite the joyous news, I was in tears. Nobody wants to age. Over the phone, Sarah seemed to sense my state and reassured me. I'll still be your daughter even after I get married, so don't worry. I might be busier once I'm married, but I plan to live close to you. She might have even heard me sniffling. Worrying my daughter like this, I feel like a bad father. I'm supposed to receive a call from her fiancé's parents tomorrow. Until then, I'm left wondering what to say. When I met my wife's parents for the first time, what did I say? It's a long time ago and it is very hard to recall. My mind was full of these worries when the phone began to ring. Bracing myself, I picked up the phone, and a deep voice came through from the other end. Thinking it must be her father, I greeted him, and he responded. It was the father of the fiancée, who introduced himself as Bob White. At that moment, I thought they must be respectable parents. So, when are you coming to meet us? Our son is marrying your daughter. We expect your status to be good enough for our family. For a moment, I could not believe what I heard. His words seemed condescending. Traditionally, it should be the groom's parents who visit the bride's parents. However, I quickly dismissed this thought. I'm an old man too. Such customs are not the norm in modern society. Probably, I'm just old-fashioned and that's why it bothers me. Getting upset over such trifles and jeopardizing my daughter's marriage would be foolish. Besides, he might be of much higher status than me. For my daughter's sake, I agreed to their request and set a date to visit, asking available dates. I wonder if Sarah is marrying someone who has got much pride. I hope it doesn't bring her any worries. Really, I cannot believe my son, marrying Sumyeon without an investigation of the family. I could hear him sigh. I had decided to hold back, but I could no longer help. This guy's son is in a relationship with my daughter and he has not said anything about that. Is my daughter going to have a happy marriage with this guy who has been brought up by parents like them? Such thoughts made me question my daughter's decision. Maybe his family is surprised and confused by the news. With that thought, I tried to soothe the situation. I was also surprised by the sudden news, but now I want to support them. Please take good care of my daughter. To this, the person on the phone hit me back with unbelievable words. What are you talking about? I haven't approved the marriage yet. I will think about it after I meet you. He hasn't approved the marriage yet. Hearing such unexpected words that he would be sizing me up left my mind blank. Is my daughter going to marry someone raised by such unreasonable people? I had intended to support her decision. But now I wonder if opposing this marriage might be better for her. I'm starting to question her decision even more, fearing I might say something rude or offensive. Struggling to hold my anger, I tried my best to respond calmly. If that pleases you, how should I feel miserable? I only wanted to congratulate and see her happy. I don't understand why they would say something that makes me regret how I feel. While troubled by these complex feelings, it was the day. After work, I changed into a business suit and drove my compact car to their house. Honestly, I didn't want to meet them. If they said something terrible, I might lose my temper. That would surely disappoint them, and it could lead to my daughter's marriage being called off. That might leave her scarred for life, and she might hate me. These negative thoughts cascaded, making me anxious about the future. I was driving as I sighed. I prayed for a peaceful time as I headed towards their home, and then, I arrived. Their house was huge. As I thought about how much money it must have cost. I was parking the car in the spot I heard about over the phone when my daughter came out from the entrance. She must have noticed the sound of the car reversing and came out to greet me. Seeing my daughter after a long time, she looked more grown up and beautiful than I remembered. Following her, a man who appeared to be her father also emerged. As I was slowly parking, I couldn't help but glance at him. He was sporting a smug smile. I frowned at his unpleasant grin. Fortunately, we weren't face to face yet. I was led into the living room. Sitting next to my daughter, I faced the other family. Across from me sat the parents and a young man. From how they dressed, I could tell they were wealthy. Both the mother and the son were smiling and I felt welcomed. Yet, I wanted to keep this visit brief and head back home. You never know what he might say. I was about to greet them and leave early when the father from the other side threw a question at me first. What's with that compact car of yours? Isn't it disrespectful to come in such a clunker? He scoffed at the car I normally drive. His remark shattered the previously amiable mood. A cold tension took over the reception room. That compact car is something I bought when I was young. I've loved it for a long time, and it reminds me of my late wife. And trips taken with my daughter. To call it a clunker is truly rude. Trying to restrain myself, the father continued with even harsher words. We have no need for someone poor who drives a compact car like that. Is your father a high school grad working as a regular employee? No need for greeting, just go back where you came from. A dry laugh echoed through the reception room. No one else laughed, they all looked pale except for the father, who laughed alone. He probably didn't know. If I had revealed my true status earlier, maybe I could have spared myself this humiliation. That I am not merely a high school grad working as a regular employee. Yes, I am the CEO of a company with a $500 million annual revenue. I apologize for being such an unworthy person invited to a place like this. What? As I bowed deeply, the father, who had been laughing moments ago, was now frozen with his mouth open. The other family members had already turned pale, and it seemed like the father finally noticed their expressions. Excuse me, but my father runs a company that sells foreign cars. Sarah explained on my behalf. However, there was no smile on her face, she seemed angry. I've explained this before, she added, clearly upset. At that time, I had been drinking and don't remember. It was a feeble excuse. Unsatisfied, suddenly, Sarah pulled me up by my hand. Her face looked as cold as a doll's. Dad, I'm sorry, I was wrong, it seems I lack judgment in people. Just as she said this, shocked mother and son tried to stop her. Both were desperately apologizing for their family's blunder, but Sarah was resolute in not forgiving them. How could I stay quiet when my father is being insulted? He's the only family I have. I don't want to be with people who can't understand that, and that car is filled with our memories, reminds me of my mother. Sarah said, unable to hold back her tears as she spoke. It's heartening to know she cares about me and the car, but causing a breakup over this might not be right. I tried to calm my anger and persuade her. I understand your anger. I hate being insulted too, but as a parent, I also want to support your marriage, please understand that. Who could have anticipated that I'd end up trying to convince my own daughter at a marriage meeting? Why did it have to come to this? Sarah cried out. I didn't want things to turn out this way. If only we had driven a different car before coming here, maybe we wouldn't have been spoken to so harshly. After about an hour, everyone calmed down, but exhausted. The peaceful atmosphere was gone, replaced only by a cold silence, mostly created by Sarah. The father, who had triggered this situation, was completely silent and speechless. As I was thinking about how hard it would be to proceed, the son of this family bowed deeply and apologized. Introducing himself as Kenny, he said, I am very sorry for the disrespectful remarks my father made. He is strikingly youthful and poised. It's hard to believe that such a fine young man could come from that father. He seemed to take the situation seriously. I had intended to visit you to ask for your approval. But my father told me you would be coming here directly, so I was waiting, he explained. He got even paler when I told him it is his father who asked me to come. I told them everything. The more I spoke, the more the other family paler. And my daughter's expression grew even more stern. At one point, the mother said she felt dizzy and had to leave the room. The atmosphere was so uncomfortable. I felt a bit sorry for them, but my daughter seemed to be reigniting her anger that had once subsided. I really don't like to say this. But isn't it supposed to be you to visit my father first? Judging people by the car they drive is not appropriate. What Sarah said was exactly what I wanted to say, leaving me feeling somewhat relieved. Her tone was intimidating. Don't stay silent, please answer me, what are you thinking? If you oppose, why didn't you say so when I first met you? Faced with Sarah's intense expression, Kenny got pale and made no move to defend his father. Perhaps he was too scared to intervene. The father began to speak in a decayed voice, his eyes hollow. Reflecting on the past, he explained that before my visit, Sarah had once visited this home. During that visit, she had introduced herself as his girlfriend. And mentioned they were thinking about getting married. However, the father was going over the moon to celebrate, drank too much, not only passed out but also forgot most of the conversation. Furthermore, he later misunderstood the situation. Being the only one asleep in the reception room. He woke up to find Sarah gone and the reception room in disarray, which he found disgraceful. Sarah left because my father was drunk and acted out, can you believe he thought that? Well, what can I do, I was drunk, and my memory of that time is fuzzy, he excused himself lamely. Kenny looked down, incredulous, likely wishing he had never learned that his father thought this way. Then, the father plotted to wreck the engagement. I was lost for words, this parent had actually plotted to ruin everything. Both Sarah and I were so astounded by his selfish scheme that we were left speechless. When we were on the phone, he said harsh things because he wanted to upset me and break off the engagement. The father, being a director at a trading company, thought his respectable position would make me give up on the marriage if he pointed out our family backgrounds. However, his plans fell apart when my true identity was revealed at the scene. Disillusioned by the father's story, Sarah chose to go home with me, despite others trying to stop her. In the car, Sarah apologized while still angry, feeling sorry for embarrassing me. Sorry, I made you look bad because of me, I'll be more careful in assessing people from now on. Hearing my daughter apologize made me feel guilty too. If I hadn't driven that compact car in the first place, none of this would have happened, a rash decision that overturned my daughter's choice. No, I'm the one who should apologize, when we get home, I think I'll get a new car. Sarah reassured me, saying it wasn't me or the car's fault. It's not about the car, it's filled with our family memories. What's unforgivable is that they tarnished those memories, she told me, moving me to tears. Eventually, the marriage was called off. Sarah couldn't forgive their disrespectful behavior and tyranny. Although the other family called several times to apologize, I couldn't say much since it was my daughter's decision. Even after their breakup, Kenny persistently tried to reconcile with Sarah, but she firmly rejected him, leading him to a state of despair. He was deeply hurt, and eventually resigned from the company where he had been working, now recuperating at home. However, the misfortune continued. When his mother learned about her husband's unbelievable plan, her anger reached a point of no return. Upon learning of her son's resignation and mental state, she decided it was unforgivable and divorced her husband and kicked him out. The house was inherited from her ancestors, and she had merely allowed the father to live there. A single misunderstanding led to the collapse of the entire family. I felt pity for them and could not bring myself to say anything further. Now, the father is said to be living alone and has recently fallen ill after quitting his job. He should suffer more, that old man. I never thought he'd be such a terrible parent, just a crank, Sarah mentioned offhandedly. I wondered how she knew so much about them and learned that Kenny still tries to contact her and send updates. I never thought it would collapse like this. But they were the ones who did terrible things. I keep in touch, but I don't feel like helping him out, she said. Whether it's her kindness or lingering affection, I'm not sure. I can only hope that this unfortunate family will find their way back to the sunlight. After losing everything following the marriage meeting. Afterward, I bought a new car. I didn't sell the compact car, because it is full of our family memories. I'm not just giving it away that easily. Sarah kept insisting on buying it, but I firmly refused to sell it to her, even though she's my own daughter. What, you have a new car, Dad? Switch to that and give me the compact car. The new car is a new car, it's irrelevant. Sarah joked about finding a way to take it someday. It seems, in the end, she still cared about Kenny because, after the turmoil settled, they got back together and eventually got married. Kenny's health improved after they reconciled, and now he started working at a different company. Despite knowing where his father is, he hasn't been in touch. Life is unpredictable, but it's their decision. I just hope they can enjoy their lives without any interference. At their modest wedding, when Sarah spoke of my late wife, I couldn't help but cry. I have never forgotten Mom, she is always alive in my heart. I don't know how long I'll live to watch over her, but seeing my daughter happy is the greatest joy for me. My wife must have wished for my happiness and for me to enjoy hers too. Dad, since you live nearby, stop by sometimes, you'll be taking care of your grandchild. Sarah said, still as willful as ever, even in marriage. She is pregnant, as it turns out. Baby is due soon. I can't leave this world until I am a proud granddad. I would like to enjoy my time left before I depart this world to join my wife.